Hey, fifth graders, I hope that you're doing well and hanging in there. I hope that last week's music interview with your parents was fun. I loved seeing lots of your answers. Lots of really great quality music there, at least to me. You guys might think differently, but it was fun to see your answers ranging anywhere from Nirvana to Pink Floyd, all the way to Backstreet Boys, just silly fun. So I hope it was maybe a good refreshing break and hope that you're still listening to maybe some of the music that your parents shared. This week, I kind of want to get back on track and talk about how war was like after the American Revolution. So you remember 2 weeks ago, we read the story Yankee Doodle, right? And we learned that Yankee Doodle actually was meant to make fun of all of the colonists. And then in the long run, the colonists ended up winning the war, and boom, they took it and was like, who's the Yankee Doodle now? And started making fun of the British. Okay. Well, the Revolutionary War ended in 1783. So that is officially when battles started ending and we became the United States of America. So now what? Okay, cool. We have our independence. We're our own country. What happens? Well, the government starts becoming established. Okay. And if we look at people like you and me, people started recovering from the war and they began to kind of settle into the new life, kind of like we're settling in right now to this kind of weird new norm with coronavirus. Okay. So that meant that people started either figuring out and settling in city life, or they started moving west across the United States to kind of see what was out there in this new land. Remember, they just won the war. The possibility was endless. Okay, so now, right here, this is what you want to tune into for your exit ticket. Okay, because this impacts music a ton. Okay, remember how I said a lot of music before this was like borrowed or stuff that they brought with them from their countries? Now we've been in this new world long enough to make our own stuff. And a lot of this new American music reflected the many challenges of the new life. So a lot of it talked about surviving the West. You got to remember a lot more obstacles were there. They didn't have the technology and stuff that we did now. Um, it also reflected the hard physical work that they had to do. Okay, again, they didn't have the machinery that we did, or that we do, excuse me. So they would have to do a lot more backbreaking work. Some of it was religious, okay, because that was still a huge priority in their life. And a lot of it still reflected politics and patriotism. There was a ton of little wars that happened after the Revolutionary War with other countries over different land territories. So, because of that, we still had lots of music reflecting politics and how proud we were to be our own and independent. Okay. The other thing is music was now performed in churches, concerts, and military purposes, taverns, and in homes. So now we see music not something that is like meant for yourself. It's starting to actually be shared out because people can actually start enjoying it for more than just themselves. They can actually enjoy it in large groups. Okay. And finally, music happened at all levels of society. So, what I mean by that is like there's different classes that we might tend to group people into. We have a lower class, a middle class, and a higher class. A higher class is what many people would say, like the rich, the wealthy. The middle class is the majority of us, where we work really hard, we make a decent amount of money, and can have a good lifestyle. And then there's the lower class that really struggles and may not have a ton of money, and they kind of just get by on a day-to-day basis. Okay. um, and the cool thing was music happened in every single one of these groups. But it's there's a couple things that we have to know. Some people, this is interesting, worked while listening to music while others played music. Okay, think about that. So some people were the people that just appreciated and listened to music like you and I do. When I'm out in my garden, I have music on playing. Okay, or if I'm running or working out. But then there's others that were like the ones who actually made their living off of it. Okay. The other thing that I thought was really interesting was during these times, we're talking like 1800s now, guys, music lessons showed that you had a higher status. So you would be considered in that a higher class that I talked about. But common people in like the middle class and the lower class also made music to just show that they were equal. It wasn't that music was only for the rich. It was that you were seen to be of higher status if you could afford a music lesson. Um, and then the people in the middle class and lower class, they just kind of teach themselves. Okay. So just kind of interesting, I thought. But music happened everywhere for everyone. Okay. And I think that's the cool thing to look at and think about. Now, I want to share a song with you that you are familiar with because I'm almost positive you sang it in elementary school, called My Country 'Tis of Thee. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. Okay, so I bet some of you have heard this before. It was written in 1830-ish, around that time, by a man named Samuel Francis Smith. Now, ironically, he wrote this song about America, but the melody, in other words, the way the song goes, the tune, he didn't write. He actually stole it and borrowed it from Great Britain, which I thought was kind of funny because they just got their independence from Britain. So he's stealing a song from Britain, but changing the words. Still happened in music, okay? Quite a bit. Now, on your Mad Minute or exit ticket for this week, I want you to look at the words in here and I want you to think about what is the song about and what kind of feeling is it giving, okay? Um, I think if you read the words, it's pretty obvious. Let me sing both verses for you one more time. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring. My native country, the land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love thy rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills. My heart with rapture fills like that above. I'm going to give you a clue. We sing this song a lot around holidays like Memorial Day and 4th of July, and even Labor Day, and especially Veterans Day. So think about what this song is talking about, okay? And think about who it might be written for and who it's honoring, okay? And that will help you on your Mad Minute, which you can see here. It's due May 14th. Some of you are doing a really great job. I love it. Make sure you're getting your answers from my videos, not just doing a Google search, but I want you to tell me 3 things that you learned about music after the American Revolutionary War. Again, remember, just go back to my earlier slide and take your ideas off of there, okay? And then question 2, listen to the song My Country 'Tis of Thee. So you're going to have to rewind, go back a little bit, and tell me, what is the song about? And then what song does the feeling share? Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But other than that, that's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoy some nicer weather as long as it cooperates with us. Happy May. I wish you all well.